Hello, lesson 46, the last one in this packet. It's a doozy. We're doing inequalities and we're doing word problems put together. Guys, it's been a long year for you. This is it. This is putting everything that you've done all in one big fat problem. So one thing you see a lot in word problems are these two phrases. I'm assuming you can do greater than or less than. But when you see at least and at most, it is kind of tricky. At least is a greater than or equal to sign. At most is a less than or equal to sign. Make sure you write this in your packet on this page because you're going to see it a lot with these word problems. So the first page, it's just us coming up with inequalities. We're not solving anything. We're not graphing anything. So I figured in the interest of me being neat and you being able to read what I have, I'll just show you my key and we'll work through these. So let's look at exercise 1. Jody is working 2 jobs. Now that I said that, I'm a little distracted. Oh, wait. No, that's Cami. I don't want to use Cami. Sorry. Jody is working 2 jobs. One is a carpenter and one is a website designer. So I'm going to use C for carpenter and W for website designer. He can work at most. So that's your flag. Whoop, it's an inequality. He can work at most 50 hours per week. Okay. And it makes $35 per hour as a carpenter, one carpenter, and $75 an hour as a website designer. He wants to make at least, that's greater than or equal to, $23.50 per week. But he also wants to work at least 10 weeks as a carpenter. Don't worry about this for now. Okay, that's going to come in like if they ask us an extra question. So let C represent the hours he works as a carpenter and W represent the hours he works as a website designer. Write a system of inequalities. So let's take this first chunk right here. He can work at most 50 hours per week. So I wrote that. So we have carpenter plus website designer at most 50. And then the second section, 35 per hour as a carpenter, so that's where I got 35C, 75 an hour as a website designer, 75W, at least greater than or equal to $23.50. That's all we're doing right now, okay? The next problem, we're going to do the same thing, and then when we get to the next page, we'll do another step. Okay, drama club at a local high school is trying to raise money by putting on a play. They can only have, I believe that says 500 seats in the auditorium. So that means less than or equal to. In theory, you can't have people just standing there. And they are using and are selling tickets for these seats, $5 per child. So when I see this, I automatically think 5C, and $10 per adult, 10A. They must sell at least $2,000 worth of tickets to cover their expenses. X is the number of children's tickets and Y is the number of adult tickets. So I automatically think C for child and A for adult. But what's going to happen is we're also going to have to graph this in the future. So it is easier to use X and Y. So you can see my answers over on the left side, but what I'm going to do is write it using A and C because that's how I process it better. So let's take the first one. We have 500 seats in the auditorium. So adults plus children less than or equal to 500. And then $5 per child ticket, so 5C plus 10 for adult, 10A, at least 2,000. It's okay to write your system this way. So what I do, especially on Regents exams, is I'll write this and then I'll go back and I'll rewrite it with the X and the Y. It's just how I process better. For some people, it doesn't matter, but that's what I do. Now, we're going to move to the next page, and on that page, we're going to go the next step further. Dun, dun, dun. So we got the Real Good Cinema is conducting a mathematical study. In its theater, there are 200 seats. Kind of looks like the auditorium question. We can't have more than 200 people then. Adult tickets cost $12.50 and children's tickets cost $6.25. The cinema's goal is to sell at least $1,500 worth of tickets for the theater. These questions are very tricky, but the more of these you do, the more you'll see they actually follow a crazy pattern. So let's start with this 200. 200 seats. And I know we have adults and kids. I'm not even looking at the X and Y yet. I'm going to use A and C. So adults plus children less than or equal to 200. Okay. Now this one, adult tickets cost $12.50. So 12.50 A plus child's tickets 6.25 C. And they want to make at least, running out of room, $1,500. There, I made my two inequalities. Woohoo! But in order to graph them, it's better to use X and Y, just like they said. So that's what I'm going to do. So adult tickets are X. So instead of an A, I'll put an X. Children's tickets are Y. Okay, there we go. And I'll do the same thing over here. 1250 X. I'm just going to do 12.5 plus 6.25 Y. Greater than or equal to 1,500. Now we have to graph this. So I'm going to, no, I don't want to clear my screen. I am going to solve this first guy for Y. So minus X on both sides. This one's not so bad. Y greater than or equal to 200 minus X. So you can put that in your calculator, go to the Y equals button, find some points. Shoot, I'm going to have to zoom out. It's not letting me. Rats. Okay. So we will improvise. We will not give up. One thing I have to check. Okay, so they're both going up by 10s. So I'm just putting 2 points in here, and there's an equal to bar. It's going to be a really awful straight line. Oh boy. Okay. Could be worse. And alligator mouth does not bite the Y, so I am not shading up to the sky. I'm shading down to the ground. And over here, I'm going to label X plus Y less than or equal to 200. So now I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm probably going to kill the whole graph. Okay. Let's see, a different color. Let's do pink. I like pink. So I'm going to move my 12.5 over. Remember, because we had to get Y by itself. So I have 6.25Y greater than or equal to 1,500 minus 12.5x. Oh boy. And then I divide by 6.25. Divide this whole side by 6.25. And by the power of magic, I will switch over to my answer key so you can actually read what I've done. If it lets me. There we go. Some things just should not be done on a tablet. Okay, so here we go. I subtracted 1250 on both sides of the inequality, divided by 6.25. Now you could put that in your calculator. go to y equals, type that in. I simplified it, but you don't have to do that. Just put that big fraction in there. Let the calculator do the work for you. And I graphed it on the pink. Alligator mouth bites the Y, so I shaded up to the sky. Let's see, is it going to let me zoom out? Yes. So there's my graph. Now it says down here, really tiny, Marta claims that selling 30 adult tickets, so that's X, and 80 child tickets will result in meeting the cinema's goal. Explain whether she is correct or incorrect. So a lot of times on a Regents exam, they'll have you do this. I plotted the point 30, 80, and it is not in the crisscross area. This whole section right here is in the crisscross area. So she is incorrect. In my reasoning, the point doesn't lie in the crisscross area. We will practice more of these. I know they're painful, but as far as getting lots of points on a test, this is a great option.